Yeah, Toho is definitely a journey of constant improvement, a little bit of frustration, but overall a lot of self-fulfillment for sure. Now the real question is, am I gonna find that self-fulfillment here? I know that I've been talking about Toho, but what you're seeing right here, as you might have guessed, is not Toho, so you might be thinking, what is this? This is what happens when Sega likes Puyo Puyo so much that somehow tries to put Sonic into Puyo Puyo. And you might be asking why I'm in a password screen, because believe it or not, I played this game the past weekend. And I've been able to reach stage 9 or 8. I remember there was a guy called Spike. And that's where I died, and I had to end the stream, so now we are here with Spike again. This is normal difficulty, by the way, as you can see there. And the guy, yeah, it's this one. It is indeed a stage 9. Is this degenerate called Spike? He calls me a squirt for some reason. I don't know what satisfaction he gets out of calling me a squirt, but sure. Anyways, maybe I should mention that this game is really hard and I'm not at the level where I can beat it in a reasonable time frame. But I don't think I need to mention that, because you're about to find out by yourself. Damn. Oh, I really don't understand. This is normal, and there are 2 more difficulties after this. How fucked up can the other 2 difficulties be? That's my real question. It's like, I mean, I don't want to find out, but it's like, how bad are they gonna be? Am I gonna get completely obliterated? Well, I don't think I need to ask that. If I'm already getting obliterated in normal difficulty, I think it's only logical that I will get obliterated in a higher difficulty, right? That's just normal logic. That's 2 plus 2, right? You don't need to have a degree on logic to know that. But that's fine, because honestly, this is one of those games that I really wanted to beat for a long time. I never beat it. I barely even got the chance to play this game, in all honesty. But being a Toho, sorry, not a Toho game. See, that's the problem. When you're a Toho player, everything you play is a Toho game. This is a Toho game too. You might think that these are Sonic characters. No, these are Toho characters. It's just that they were having a bad day. So instead of representing themselves as cute girls, they represent themselves as fucking abominations. Like this guy right here. So, what I was about to say is that being a Sonic game, not a Toho game, this is a game that I always wanted to beat and I never really got the chance to do it, so here we are, basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Though, can we call this a Toho? I'm not doing it on purpose, I swear. I'm not saying Toho on purpose. It's pure accident. I keep fucking saying Toho, because that's what Toho does to your brain. I was about to say that this can really be considered a Sonic game, right? I mean, well, it has Dr. Robotnik, aka Dr. Eggman, aka the big bad from Sonic, right? So, in that sense, this is indeed a Sonic game, well, at least when it comes to IP and copyright, right? But does it really count as one? Because funnily enough, this game has no Sonic. And you will expect, or at least I will expect, that in a Sonic game, you will have Sonic in it, right? But, you know, I don't know if it's considered a Sonic game or not, but what I do know is that I want to beat it, and that's what's important. I want to beat this game. Yeah, even if I have to use 100 continues, and even if I beat it only by pure chance and not actual planning or strategy, or even knowing what the hell I'm doing, that's fine. I just want to beat it. I just want to have the satisfaction and be like, I beat this game, you know? Beat this game, fair and square. I don't know. I mean, if I am able to beat this game, it might be worth to highlight it. After all, I can grab the past week stream and choose unify it with this one, and that will be the full playthrough. But you know, obviously that will require me actually beating this, which, as you can see, is posing a pretty hard challenge, right? Seems to be something that you just cannot do by pure chance. You actually have to know how to play. But you know, I've been able to beat a lot of games that I never knew how to play. I just beat it out of chance. So maybe it can happen with this game too. Obviously the question is, will it happen? I'm not sure. We don't know. But we're about to find out. That's a good... Damn, that's a really good chain. As you can see, that happened by chance. It's not like I carefully planned that chain that I did. No, that happened by chance. I didn't even mean to do something like that, but it happened. That's what matters. After all, the game doesn't care how good you plan your game. The game cares about who is the last one standing. And if it's not you, then it doesn't matter how smart you think you played. The only thing that matters is that, you know, that you won or not. A Sonic spin-off? I know, right? No, the one that will be, I think, literally a Sonic spin-off will be Sonic Spinball. Literally and figuratively. Because that game is pretty much... Though, holy shit, what a hard game. Sonic Spinball, I think that's one of those games where you can look at it and without any doubt be like, this is unforgiving. And it is. That game is just unforgiving. That game doesn't give a shit about what you think it's fair, what you think it's hard. No, game simply doesn't give a shit. If you lose your 3 lives that game gives you, because it doesn't give you anything more than that, it gives you 3 lives. If you lose those 3 lives, get fucked. That's what the game says. It doesn't matter if you were about to beat the game, it doesn't matter if you were on stage 1, doesn't matter if you were on stage 2, doesn't matter exactly where you were. Those 3 lives are gone. You are gone. So yeah. Now you could probably say that this game is also unforgiving, but the thing about this game is that if you know how to play Puyo, you can probably do something more consistently, right? In a game like Sonic Spinball, even if I don't think there isn't really that much RNG, most of the stages are like, they have what I would like to call sudden deaths, even though they are not really sudden deaths, because if you die, it's kind of like your fault, not the game's fault. But they are so fast, like the deaths in that game are so fast that you're like, damn, I did all of this shit just to die in 2 seconds. Yeah, you did that. I mean, after all, this is not the 90s anymore, so if you got into Sonic Spinball, you know what you were getting into, right? You probably know what you were getting into. So, it's your fault. Just like my fault for getting into this game while not knowing shit about Puyo Puyo. But hey, that's fine. I think that makes it fun. Because if I was good at this... Like, imagine if I was good at this game. You will basically see me breeze through the levels. The AI will cry, the game will be over, and it will be like, ah, nice. A guy beat the game pretty convincingly, good shit. But here, you're seeing the struggle. You're seeing me getting destroyed in a really convincing manner in the hands of the AI. And it really shows. It really shows that that's indeed the case. There is no forgiving from the AI. It's just you're not good, well, you're done. So yeah. Maybe this might be a little bit more interesting. A complete Puyo Puyo noob trying to beat this game. Honestly, I don't even know how hard this game is considered among Puyo Puyo fanatics, right? Because, you know, believe it or not, there seems to be a significant Puyo Puyo community, right? I didn't know that, but when I streamed Puyo Puyo Tetris, there were a lot of people that came to my stream. One of them liking to use the word groundhog. Now, taking that into account definitely means that there is a community there. Maybe a pretty old community. I mean, if you use the word groundhog, it seems like you are gonna be a pretty old community. So it seems like there is, right? Like, that's my point. There is a community there. So if there is a community, I'm assuming that they obviously know about this game. I want to know what they think about this game. Is this game hard by Puyo Puyo standards? Is it easy? Is it good? I don't know. I'm definitely not gonna shout shit at it as a Puyo Puyo game, because I, again, don't know shit about Puyo Puyo. I'm gonna shout shit as a Sonic game. And as a Sonic game, this has to be one of the most unique Sonic games. Because guess what? As I said before, Sonic is not in the game. Yes, a Sonic game without Sonic. It is possible. It is. And this is not like one of those Sonic games where Tails is the protagonist, right? Sonic doesn't appear, but at least you have someone like Tails being there. No. This one has fucking nobody other than Eggman. Or Robotnik, as they like to call it here. Such a nice community. Well, being nice or not, I think at this point doesn't really matter. In the sense that they might be nice or not, but they definitely might know how to play Puyo Puyo, right? So the question there is, in all the Puyo Puyo glory that these guys have, how hard is this game to them? I don't know. I really haven't seen any of the guys from that stream again. You know, there were a specific amount of people that came to watch my stream when I was playing Puyo Puyo Tetris. Haven't seen them again, and I'm kinda interested of what they will think about this game. It really makes me curious. One of them, I think, it mentioned the fact that, you know, that this game existed. I don't remember what they said about it. If they even said anything about it, because maybe they didn't say shit, and I'm just misremembering. The funny thing is that, as I mentioned also on my previous stream of this game, on Puyo Puyo Tetris, I've been able to basically quote-unquote cheat my way to victory by piling up Puyos randomly to the right side of the screen and eventually clearing them also randomly. That led to a lot of, you know, accidental chains that I didn't even think of, because that's the idea of that strategy. It also has a name. It's such a brain-dead strategy that it even has a name, that something about a turtle, I think. I don't remember what the name of the strategy was, but I do remember that it was pretty effective for a complete noob like me, because it basically allowed me to win without even thinking what I was doing. And obviously in a game like Puyo Puyo Tetris, since Tetris is available, and obviously I'm a pretty big fan of Tetris, I didn't really wanted to play Puyo Puyo, so I really didn't care about using that brain-dead strategy, because I really wasn't there to play Puyo, right? But in this game, there is no Tetris. This game is Puyo Puyo, and that's it. Nothing else. So I don't think maybe skipping every fight by doing that is a good idea. Well, first of all, because it doesn't really work, right? Like, the AI in this game is not as brain dead as in Puyo Puyo Tetris. Like, they actually know how to defend themselves. I mean, they mostly know a lot how to viciously attack when they need to. They also can keep their side of the screen pretty clean, right? And only get dirty when you make a chain on them. But since I don't know how to make chains on them, that usually doesn't happen. Now, a lot of people have been telling me, well, you can do the stairs strategy, right? You can do this strategy, that strategy, but the thing about that is that Puyo Puyo is literally a game that depends on RNG. So I can do a stair, but if I don't get the pieces I need, it's gonna be impossible. I know that that's obviously not an excuse for Puyo Puyo masters, right? But I'm not a master, far from it. So, you know, a little bit hard to apply those strategies that people tell me about, because I'm like, yeah, alright, but what do I do if I don't get the pieces I want? And they are like, well, if that happens, you can pile up the Puyos in a different lane. And that's great, but eventually the AI starts attacking and it fills the screen with literal garbage like that, right? And when that happens, you can have a lot of strategies, but you have to immediately switch your strategy there. Because if you don't switch your strategy, you're pretty much dead, because you will be trying to clear Puyos that are not available anymore to you. Obviously they might be available later on if you clear the garbage blocks, right? But that's still pretty hard to do, right? So for example, I have a lot of good things down there. Well, I wouldn't say good things, just like, you know, a nice build-up that is now completely inaccessible because the table has been filled with garbage blocks, right? So sadly, I really can't do much here. Unless I change strategy. But, you know, in order to change the strategy, there had to be a strategy in the first place. And I have none. I can still try, as I say, to do the piling up strategy here, right? Where you do this kind of shit. I think the reason why this strategy might not work that well in a game like this, and I'm not sure, but maybe because this game doesn't spawn double Puyos a lot. Like, as you can see, most of the Puyos that I get are one color, like, you know, they are one color and then another color. They are not a group of two of the same color. So see, for example, there, by pure chance, I've been able to get that chain. It wasn't that big of a chain, but it was a decent one. And it helped a little bit, but even if it helped, I'm still... Well, as you can see, you don't need to look any further than comparing my screen and his screen. So yeah, even if I got that chain, it doesn't really mean much. You have to be actively attacking this guy, because otherwise it's all for nothing. And as I said before, the guy really recovers pretty fast, right? He doesn't really care about anything else. And I'm dead. You know, what I also thought about streaming today, because I really was about to stream a different game other than this one, but I was like, nah, dude, this game sucks to stream. It was Opus Magnum. That, you know, that's a game that I really want to play, right? Because I'm curious, more than anything I'm curious, right? I feel like it's one of those games that is not only gonna be a Snorfest for the viewers, it's gonna be a Snorfest for me. This is one of those games where you have to think, right? And when I say you have to think, I don't mean that you do real time strategy stuff, that you have to be quick. No, we're talking about like solving logical problems, right? So obviously you have all the time in the world, but I don't think my brain has all the time in the world. Wow, it's gonna destroy me there. I'm dead. Well, not literally, but... Hey, Yannick, how is it going? You mean TIS 100? Not necessarily, though it was close. No, I was referring about Opus Magnum, which, I mean, it's made by the same guys. But, yeah, I don't... Like, I even opened the game today, because I was about to open it and start the stream, and then I was like, no, dude, if I play this... it's gonna be painful. It's gonna be a painful stream. It's gonna be, like, not only, as I said, not just painful for you, the viewers, painful to me. Painful for me to play. Because you might argue that this might or might not be painful, but at least there's always something happening. So yeah, I do suck at the game, that's pretty clear. But at the very least, there's always movement on the screen, right? You always see something happening. As Dr. Disrespect would like to say, you can see violence, speed, and momentum in this game, right? And if you don't see it from me, you at least see it from the AI that is fucking me in the ass. Now the problem is, you don't really see any violence, speed, or momentum on Opus Magnum. It's a game that is dedicated to think. Think, and think. Nothing else. You have to think. And even if it might not be necessarily an easy game, because I know that, you know, obviously there are a lot of puzzle games that might be pretty easy, and not only they are slow, but they are also boring, because like the solution is not that big of a deal. But Opus Magnum has quite some difficulty as far as I know. So it will be there, like you will have that, but I don't think that will be enough. Hold down and right simulator. Dude, I wish that was the case, but holding down and right doesn't do shit in this game. How is it going, Yummy, by the way? I mean, let me show you again. So you have this, right? By the way, I'm not holding down and right because it doesn't work. I'm manually pressing right and then down, because otherwise they just don't go down. So even if I do this, this game apparently like is not satisfied with that. As you can see, and something that I also mentioned earlier, the colors are pretty sparse. You see that most of the blocks there, there aren't many colors that are put together, right? So obviously when that happens, it's pretty hard to do chains, because as I also mentioned earlier, it seems that this game doesn't have as many two-color blocks as Puyo Puyo Tetris, right? So that obviously makes it harder to put blocks of the same color together. So yeah. And basically doing this, as you can see, look at my opponent's board and my board. Look at them, now compare them. So sadly, holding down right, as much as I wish it worked, as you can clearly see, it ain't working. It just doesn't work. Or at least it doesn't work as well as it did in Puyo Puyo Tetris. So yeah, here you actually have to think, something that I'm unable to do. But as I also mentioned earlier, we don't need to. We need to find that weird combo, that weird chain that we did by accident, and eventually we're gonna win. Now obviously, you might tell me, well, why don't you actually put effort into making chains, so instead of it being random, it's actually consistent? That's a pretty valid complaint. but the problem is that that requires thinking. I'm not really a big fan of thinking, you know. I mean, I'm a Touhou player, so you can tell by now that thinking is not something that I do daily. At least not on stream. I might do it on work, but who gives a shit about that? I mean, with Touhou players, after all, I think it's a pretty nice comparison to barbarians. We might be barbarians, after all, because when it comes to Touhou, it's not really about thinking, it's about dodging, right? Obviously, you can say that, well, dodging requires some thinking. Sometimes, yes, sometimes. But for the most part, it just requires you being fast enough. If you're fast enough, you dodge. If you're not fast enough, you don't dodge. It's as simple as that. So, you don't really need to think that much. Obviously, score players are gonna disagree, because if you play Touhou for scoring, God forbid your soul, yeah, you need to actually know the routing and everything in order to have the highest possible score. But you know, that's more memorizing than thinking. I don't really consider memorizing. I mean, well, technically you are thinking, but it's not what I would consider, you know, hard thinking, right? And score runs in Touhou are just mostly about memorizing. Well, even survival runs in Touhou are mostly about memorizing as well. So that's definitely not what I will really call thinking. It's mostly just, you know, it's kind of like, you know, when there is a hacker that wants to crack a password, right? Like, it's not like they are thinking what they are inputting. Most of the time they do it by brute force. Unless, you know, someone leaked the password, obviously. But most of the time they are just like trying different combinations again. Eventually they assert. Like, eventually they get to the right combination. But it's not because they were smart or because they thought. It's just because by brute force you eventually try so much that you get to the right answer. So Touhou is kind of like that. It's not like you're smart by surviving. It's mostly that you play so long that your brain already knows how to behave when it reaches certain spots and everything. So wow, look at that. I didn't even see the combo, but I'm pretty sure that that combo was so brutal that it would have killed me even if I have revived after that. Touhou players operate on instincts. Yeah, pretty much. When you're a Touhou player, you kinda need an ultra instinct mindset. When I say ultra instinct, I mean, well, the core concept of ultra instinct, which is dodging without thinking. And that's pretty much what Touhou is, dodging without thinking. You dodge based on memory, based on muscle memory, which is different, and on your own reflexes. Thinking is not part of the equation. So yeah, usually when I play games like this, I feel pretty lost, because, you know, I actually have to think. So it's a little bit weird, it's something that I'm not used to do when I play games. That's fine. I mean, it's good to do it for a change, right? It's always nice to switch things up here and there. Because, you know, eventually, playing Danmaku, like, you know, Danmaku is the genre that Touhou is part of, right? When you play Danmaku and Danmaku games alone, eventually your brain rots. My brain is already rotten, by the way. So yeah. You don't want to rot it even further, right? So yeah. Obviously, It's not like by playing this I'm gonna get immediately good at Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine or any other Puyo Puyo game for that matter. It's like a nice change of pace. It's like, alright, other games that are not Danmaku actually exist. So yeah. It's definitely recommended to do it once in a while. Not just with Danmaku, right? Let's say that you're a Counter-Strike player. Yeah, God also forbid your soul. But... wait, did I say forbid? No, I didn't mean forbid. I mean... whatever. The point is that... you're a Counter-Strike player, and obviously you're used to FPS and FPS alone. It's nice once in a while play like, you know, I don't know, Monster Hunter or whatever other game of a different genre, just to, you know, kinda refresh yourself, right? Kinda change the pace a little bit. Maybe change the mindset, right? Sometimes maybe by switching games you kinda get attracted to that new game you just found out. I mean, after all, we just heard Draynot here saying that ever since he started watching my stream, it seems that he got interested in Touhou and he started playing it and he liked it. And his games, as far as I know, he's usually an I wanna be the guy player. Right? So it definitely was a nice change of pace to him, and it worked. Obviously that doesn't mean he has to forget about I wanna be the guy or anything like that. It just means that it's like, you know, there are other things that are really interesting, and they can be fun. They can be fun and challenging, right? So obviously, it's always nice to do that. Sometimes it doesn't work, right? Obviously, so I gotta be honest. Switching the pace like this, sometimes it's like, why did I do that? The best example that I can mention right now is Umihara Kawase, or whatever that game is called. I feel like that game is so bad that I don't know how people can call it a cool classic, but I should not regret the fact that I tried it. No. I should be glad that I learned it the hard way. So now I know what game I should avoid if I don't want to get salty. I know that there might be some Umihara Kawase fans out there. I understand, but I don't know, dude. I play that game and I just can't. Not just I wanna platformers in general. Yeah, usually I think platformers and Danmaku games go hand in hand pretty well, because usually platformers and Danmaku games have a kind of difficulty that is not really common nowadays anymore, which is single player difficulty. You know how a lot of games now and a lot of players that people respect as good players, they come from multiplayer games, right? Like, you know, League of Legends, Counter-Strike, maybe Street Fighter 5 to mention some. But there are really many games nowadays that challenge you in a single player way. So obviously the natural genres that do that since the beginning of video games is shoot 'em up, or in this case Danmaku games, and platforming games. Those two are the most basic form of video games that you're gonna find, and they still work. They still work just as well as they did years ago. So if you're one of those people like me that isn't really fond of multiplayer games and prefers a more single player experience, right? Those games are still here. Another kind of game that it's also a really challenging single player game is the reading games. Those might not be that common though, at least compared to platformers, right? But it's definitely one of those genres that has been out since forever, and it's still enjoyable if you like it, right? Obviously, I mention this a lot of times, but I used to be an Osu player before, right? Sadly, the game really burned me out. The community didn't help either, but I don't really want to blame the community, because blaming the community for a game is not really a good idea. I mean, if you enjoy the game, the community should be irrelevant, right? But it came to a point where I didn't even enjoy playing Osu. It was like I don't feel like I'm improving, and if I'm not improving in this game, I don't feel like I'm having fun, so I should stop playing Osu altogether. It was just over. It's sad because Osu, I mean, it's a good game, obviously. It's not what I would call a bad game, but it comes to a point where what's physically possible for a person really becomes a problem, right? And a lot of people are always pushing the limits of what's physically possible in Osu and what's not every single day. But I don't want to be one of those people, because if I'm one of those people, that means that I'm most likely gonna have some issues in my hand that I don't wanna have. Especially my hands being such a... as a programmer and as a video game enthusiast, you know, my hands are probably one of the parts of the body that I will not want to fuck up. And Osu looked like the game that will do that. So I just decided that for my own good, should stop playing that. And that's what I did. Now, you might ask that if at some point I might play Osu again or not. I don't know. I mean, after all, you don't need to try hard to play Osu. You can just play an easy map of a song you like, and that's it. You can have fun. You're listening to a song you like, and at the same time you're playing a reading game, so that's great. And Osu is obviously one of these games that is known for having such a tremendous amount of content. Obviously, since the game is community driven, so it's like the content can be theoretically infinite, right? So, you know, one of those days I can just pop Osu out, play some maps of songs that I really like, you know, Toho remixes, things like that, and I do that. It should be fun. I don't know if it will be fun to stream, but it will be fun to play at least. Got a deep good luck on the clear. Thanks a lot, Draynor. Again, thanks for the 6 months of sub, and see you next time. Have a good one. But yeah, basically that's what it is with Osu. And since it's been a while since I played Osu, and it's also been, you know, my musical tastes have obviously shifted a lot over the years, and now I like songs that I didn't even know they existed before, and those songs are definitely mapped into Osu, so it's probably gonna be a good idea to one of these days revisit Osu. Now, again, it wouldn't be a try-hard stream or anything like that. It will just be me casually playing some maps, you know, some 3 stars maps, maybe 2 stars if I feel like 3 stars is too hard, and there wouldn't really be anything other than that, but you know, I think it should be fun. Obviously, Osu is not the only reading game that exists, right? Oh, wow, what a combo, holy shit. He probably still not gonna be dead after that, but he's gonna be close. He's already preparing the comeback. And I'm not getting a single... Not even attacking anymore. So I'm not seeing a single piece that is helping me. Damn, now the purple arrives. Well, that was tragic. That was pretty tragic. But I think that's what I get for paying too much attention to my opponent's thing. It's interesting, for the longest time I played a lot of multiplayer FPS games, but I started playing Touhou and got deep into shoot 'em ups. Yeah, Touhou, it's a really good opening door to shoot 'em ups, mostly because, I mean, Touhou is the kind of franchise that it just wants you, like, you want to get invested in Touhou once you find out about it, right? Like, when you find out that Touhou exists, you're like, damn, this is a pretty big universe. Seems to have a lot of stuff to discover. I want to know it all. It has so much content, it has a huge, enormous fan base. So yeah, this is gonna be great. And obviously, eventually you get into Touhou. But you also ask yourself, damn, Touhou is really good, but I kinda played it a lot and I'm kinda burned out of Touhou. But I really like shoot 'em up, so is there any other? And obviously you realize that there are a lot of beautiful shoot 'em ups that, just like Touhou, they are incredibly challenging and at the same time pretty well done. Probably your next step after Touhou is cave shoot 'em ups. Hey Riemann, how is it going? In fact, Riemann is a perfect example of that. I'm pretty sure Riemann is a Touhou player. He started as a Touhou player, and then later on he figured out that Cave games existed. For those who don't know, Cave is a company that makes Danmaku games, so he was like, damn, you know, these games are pretty cool, and he started to get good at them, to the point where he did something that not many people in the world are able to do. So yeah, I will say that Touhou is an amazing door of entry to the Danmaku and shoot 'em up world. For those who also don't know and might be interested, shoot 'em up and Danmaku are two concepts that are pretty closely tied to each other. They are not exactly the same though. Basically, let's see it like this. Every Danmaku game is a shoot 'em up, or at least 99% of Danmaku games are shoot 'em ups. But not every shoot 'em up game is a Danmaku game. So what's the difference? The difference is pretty simple. Danmaku games is about shoot 'em up games that have literal thousands of bullets of the screen on the screen at any given time. Shoot 'em ups as a concept is way more wide and obviously includes a lot of games that are more oriented towards a casual audience, right? That, you know, the focus is not really on the difficulty, but rather on the fact that you should run around shooting enemies, right? But yeah. You mean me kicking mechanical butterfly ass? Indeed. Indeed, that's what I mean. Cool game. Hey, ST Maximilian, how is it going? Street of Rage background, yeah. Basically, there was a Sonic background. There is a Sonic background in this Steam emulator. It didn't look as good as this one. This one looks amazing. I mean, sure, we're not playing Streets of Rage now, but we don't need to. Though, if I gotta be honest, Streets of Rage is definitely a game that I'm interested of playing don't know if one of these days, but eventually. Also, for those who don't know, Streets of Rage is a beat-em up game where you are basically a street fighter. No, I don't mean street fighter as in the saga, but like a fighter that fights in the street, right? And you go around beating up bad guys with your fists and kicks. and all of that. Doing good, nice. What about you? I'm pretty fine. I mean, basically, as I was mentioning earlier in the stream, I was debating if I should be playing this game or Opus Magnum. And I felt like Opus Magnum was just not good stream material, so I was like, nah, better play this game. And that's what I did. Now I'm playing this game instead of Opus Magnum. I don't know if I will ever decide myself to stream that game. It really seems like one of those games that is just not... It's just not a good stream game. You should play Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage... Yeah, I played it like 10 years ago, I think. Well, maybe a little bit sooner than that. But... It's a game that, by the way, is pretty hard to one-coin clear. Just like most beat-em-ups of that era. I mean, you can beat it with continues, but if you actually try to beat it without continues, the game, it's a pretty interesting challenge. I will be tempted to say that it's a challenge that might be pretty close to the difficulty of one-coin clearing a Toho game. And I'm not even exaggerating there. Because, you know, obviously, games that feature... Unbelievable. Games that feature continues are mostly because they were released on arcades, right? So obviously, people that went in an arcade, they were expected to spend their coins. And a way for them to spend their coins is by making them continue. So obviously, all of those games that are thought like that, they are pretty hard to clear with only one continue, because they were obviously designed to not be clear with only one continue. So obviously, they are incredibly challenging if your aim is an actual one-coin clear, right? But obviously, it's pretty fun to try just because of the obvious challenge that it means, right? Fun with practice. A yellow peanut is broken. You know, I don't know if it's broken. It's just that Puyo Puyo, just like most games of this style, just like Tetris for example, have a lot of strategies that allow you to win pretty easily against players that are not the best, right? Like, if you're a really good Puyo Puyo player, I'm pretty sure that an AI like this is nothing more than, you know, it's kids play, right? Obviously, I'm not a Puyo Puyo player, so things like this are really hard to me. I really don't know what to do, so my strategy here is basically, well, the fact that I have no strategy. That's my strategy. Eventually I can maybe pull off a chain, a pretty big chain, but I will pull it out of miracle other than anything else. That's more or less my strategy. Obviously, it's a strategy, quote unquote, that depends purely on luck. But I mean, that's mostly how I play games that I don't know how to play. I just try to play like in the most basic way, and eventually I get something that is really good out of pure chance. And yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing here. Obviously, as you can see, it's clearly not working, but that's not the point. Like, you don't have to think that it's gonna work at the first attempt. It's something that will eventually work, right? That's the reason why it's random. It's random because it's not supposed to work every time. It's supposed to only work sometimes. It hasn't worked yet, because I've been fighting against this guy for a long time now, but eventually it will work. How long will it take, you might be asking too? Well, that's a question that I don't know the answer for. But I'm pretty sure nobody knows the answer for, because it deeply depends on RNG and nothing more than RNG, pretty much. So yeah, we will see. I mean, I'm not in a hurry to beat this or anything like that, right? I just want to, you know, chill a little bit. It's a pretty nice game to chill. I mean, sure, it's hard, it's challenging, but you know, you can chill. The moment you gave him an opening after a combo, he showered you with black blobs. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. When it comes to Puyo Puyo in general, if you leave your opponent the chance to attack, yeah, good luck coming back from that. So yeah, obviously, and this isn't even an optimized AI, because if this was an optimized AI, I would be dead really fast. Remember when you asked about how hard to get 120 million in Ketsui? Yeah, I do indeed remember that. Today on Shoot 'em Up Slam was Ura Ronan guy finished first loop with 270 mil. Damn. But did he play really like a pretty notable scoring route? Like, was he actively trying to get score, or did the score naturally came to him? Because that's the secret. I mean, obviously I know that people can get a lot of score in that game, but the real question is, do I need to... He actively tried to score. Okay, so then there is no chance that I can do that. Hey, that's fine. I mean, I didn't really think I could do that before. It's just that, you know, I like the possibility of doing it, but there's obviously no possibility of doing that without dedicating like 1 month to Ketsui, and I really don't want to dedicate 1 month to Ketsui. That's way more than I'm willing to give. But that's fine. I mean, it's a hard challenge for a reason. But it's a fine. But you know, I mean, the real reason why I want to get the Ura loop in Ketsui so much is mostly because I want to fight against Eva Kanya Doom, which is the true last boss, right? But I don't really think that it's worth it to do it on that one, right? On that like on the original game, especially since so many ports have been done that allow you to go straight to Eva Kanya Doom from the start. So I don't think it's really worth it to do all that shit just to get the, you know. And finally we got a chain that I actually had to think about in order to get. That's probably the only chain I'm gonna do in the whole game, but that's fine. That's part of the plan. The run died on boss 2-5. Damn. Well, I mean, yeah, those games are just so fucking hard, dude. Those games are so unbelievably hard, and not even the people that are good at them sometimes can consistently beat them. Ketsui is definitely not an exception. In fact, it might be the rule. Yeah, for those wondering, Ketsui is indeed a cave Danmaku game. Probably one of the hardest cave Danmaku games there are. And yes, it gets to the point where not even people who are good at the game can consistently, you know, beat it. So yeah, it definitely is one of those games that if you want a challenge, you definitely should go play that game. If you think that every game you're playing is easy, just give Ketsui a try. Let me check practice mode on PS3 version. Alright. Yeah. There are a ton of cave games that are hard. Ketsui is definitely one of those that is at the top of the hard chain, right? But yeah, honestly, I don't think there's any cave game that you can say, oh, this one it's easy, right? There aren't really any cave games that you can say that are easy. Unless, you know, it's one of those games that was made as a spin-off. But I don't think that cave has many spin-off games, if any. That's not gonna do anything. You need to unlock stages to practice it? Damn. But I don't think the PS3 version was the only port that Ketsui released, right? What were the... well, other than the DS port, what other ports were they for Ketsui? Because I really don't remember. It's been a while since I checked what possible ports Ketsui had, and I completely forgot. PS4 and 360. Let me see. Well, maybe one of these days I could play one of them. Maybe not. I don't know. We will see. Oh, that's gonna be great. Sadly, if I had one more blue one, that could have been an amazing combo. But yeah, can definitely... well, regardless of the version, doing stuff in that game is always gonna be challenging, so yeah. Ah, come on, you're gonna put a dim block in there. Yeah, what this game also has, as I mentioned before, is that a lot of times you get a block where you were about to put one of your blocks, right? So it's like, damn, my strategy is now completely ruined. And also there are some other times where the block you want just refuses to come. It's like, oh, you wanted a green one? Well, too bad. Let me give you everything but a fucking green. And in this case it's not green, it's fucking red. Just give me a red one. I'm just asking for a red one, there we go. And of course, the time I get a red one, I miss. Well, that's gonna be bad. But yeah. Lost the ability to grind any game whatsoever. I mean, you can always grind MMOs. Those do not require ability to grind, they just require time. So you can go with those and still get your grinding feeling, right? Obviously, if you're not a big fan of MMOs, it might not be the best idea, but you know, might not be that bad of an idea. I mean, after all, why do you think that MMOs are so popular after all? A lot of people that don't really feel like putting a lot of hours into getting good at a game. They prefer to putting those hours in a game that it doesn't require to have astronomical reflexes or anything like that. It just requires that you put time into it. Don't even grind Touhou anymore. Well, honestly, I don't really... I mean, I want to play some of the official Touhou games again, because, you know, believe it or not, it's been a while since I played an official Touhou game, and I actually try hard at it. So I'm kinda in a similar boat to you, in the sense that I don't really feel that motivated to grind Touhou games. I just play other things, like this, for example, right? Damn, and this guy died. So as you can see, as I was mentioning earlier, it is a game that you can win by just be actively trying random shit until it eventually works. It worked there. So Shishis with defeated Spike. So what's the next monster that we're gonna find? She things. So apparently we have Jason. My lord is troubled by this success, sir, but thou art destined to proceed no further. Prepare to duel Lord Robotnik's champion. Alright. Apparently this guy seems to be pretty strong. He's apparently one of Dr. Robotnik's loyal fighters. We're about to find out why. Damn, he's already preparing it. He's already cooking a pretty tasty meal of destruction. Oh, he didn't even use it. He could have a pretty nice chain and he didn't do it. Maybe he feels pity. He feels pity for me. Now to grind double the time, I know, right? That's fine. Don't worry about it. This guy apparently has some manners and it won't absolutely destroy us. He will spare our lives for a little bit, not for too long. But hey, we might be able to survive a little, which is what matters. The smug face. You can't even see the face, but you can feel the smug aura, right? Like the smug aura is back then really menacing. The Towers of Doom, damn. Maybe the AI about to done goof and you end up getting it first try. Yeah, I don't think that was the case, but it's fine. You know, sometimes I also think that, because that can definitely happen. Like the AI just can completely break out of nowhere and it just does dumb shit and you win by doing absolutely nothing. Luigi style. It can definitely happen, and in fact it has happened in other games, especially fighting games, right? A lot of times the final boss in a fighting game is like, you know, it's the cheapest asshole in the world, but all of a sudden, like, you get into the first attempt and they just forget that they can block and you win. Yeah, it can happen. That actually happened to me, I think, once in King of Fighters. There is a boss in King of Fighters 96 that is called Gains, I think. Well, it's written as Goenitz, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Gains. And that guy is a pretty cheap motherfucker, okay? He is a complete cheap asshole, okay? And all of a sudden I pick the Yori team in that game, and I should spam Yori's jumping kick, I think, and he just couldn't block. He was like, damn, he's doing a kick, what do I do? And he just fucking died. Just like that. Damn, he seems to be pretty desperate, holy shit. Talking about this guy. Like his whole life savings are on the line. He doesn't seem happy about what's about to happen. Damn. Relax, dude. It's just a Puyo Puyo. Damn. The guy definitely was not happy about that. Holy shit. Look at that sad face. He's not happy about that. Well, it wasn't first try, it was second try. Magaki from KOF 11 comes to mind for cheap asshole. You know, the funny thing for Magaki, it's pretty funny that you mentioned Magaki. If you only roll and grab Magaki, he's dead. He can't do anything about roll and grab. Sometimes he will try to do that special where it's like a Shoryuken, but he doesn't jump. He just attacks what's in front of him. He might do that, but for the most part, if you fight Magaki by rolling and grabbing, he can't do anything about that. He's too dumb to do anything about roll and grab. You should spam that over again and it just works. Nice, thanks. What do you have for... Wait, oil got tied in knots. I guess that's why the dog's sending the boys round. Wait, the dog? The dog? The 2 times blockbuster video game champion? Damn. I guess we will need some violence, speed and momentum. God damn. Seems like the dog is gonna be the final boss in here. But you were asking what do I have in mind for primary stream. Either Azure Reflections or Barrage Musical, one of those two. I don't think I have something else planned. I don't think I do. But those two are most likely gonna happen. Is there a chance of there being something else? Maybe. There is always room for more. But for now, those are my plans for the night. And speaking of plans, the most likely scenario is that tomorrow I might not be able to stream at all. But we will see. Maybe I can stream only at night, or maybe I just can't stream at all. But that's fine, that's tomorrow, so let's not worry about it. I mean, I will let you know if that's the case or not. Does it work in highest difficulty? Magaki, are you talking about? I don't know. I don't remember in which difficulty I fought Magaki. It's been a pretty long time since I played KOF 11, so I don't remember. But it might work on the hardest difficulty. I don't know. I will have to test it. KOF is also one of those games that one of these days I want to stream, because playing the arcade mode of the KOF games is so fun to do. It's so much fun to play the arcade mode of KOF games. Because the AI is so fucking broken that it's actually a good challenge. It's a good challenge to try and beat those arcade modes. And it's not only the AI being broken. Obviously, KOF is pretty known for having incredibly hard final bosses. So even if the AI was dumb, the movement that some of the final bosses have is just like, holy damn. Sometimes you get surprised about how cheap they can get. Especially, there is a specific bastard that comes to my mind right now when it comes to King of Fighters. And it's Chrysalid from King of Fighters 99. That guy is such a cheap motherfucker. That guy... Damn. Speaking of cheap motherfuckers. But basically that guy that I'm talking about, Chrysalid, has a move that I think is called Typhon Rage. That basically covers the whole screen, has almost no recovery, so it's safe on block. And, you know, he can just do it over and over again. Darius Burst looks cool. I guess I will have to check it. I will watch the hell out of that. Damn. The first 3 KOF are pretty dog shit though, the final bosses are so unbalanced. I remember KOF 95 being specifically insulting when it came to difficulty. That game, for those who don't know, KOF 95, I'm pretty sure it has the cheapest AI in all KOF games. But if that wasn't enough, KOF 95 also has 2 final bosses, differently from 1. Most of the KOF games only have 1 final boss, but in that game, you have to defeat 2 final bosses in a row. And the first one is already hard to defeat. But if you defeated the first one, and you die at the second one, it doesn't matter. You have to beat the first one again. Like, get fucked. So yeah, it's pretty tough. KOF 95 is pretty broken, even stage 1 is ridiculous. Yeah, also 94 can be pretty bad, but I feel like 94 is not as bad as 95. I feel like 95 is the cheapest one out of all of them. I'm not completely sure. Chrysalid is fine, Ignis is worse. Ignis is pretty cheap. But Ignis, like, if you want to defeat Ignis, what you have to do is you have to pick only one character. Because, you know, King of Fighters is a game that is basically known for the fact that you have to pick 3 characters, as opposed to only one like in traditional fighting games. However, Ignis, which comes from KOF 2001, that game allows you to pick 1, 2, 3 or 4 fighters. Obviously, if you pick, the more characters you pick, the weakest they are individually, right? So if you pick only one character, you can get a really strong character. So if you're fighting against Ignis, which is the final boss of that game, you definitely want to pick only one character. Because if you pick 4 characters, not only you're not gonna deal any damage, but your characters are also gonna die so fast that they are not gonna let you won't even be able to look at the screen, right? They are gonna be dead so fast. And yeah, by the way, he has a special where he literally kills all of your bar. He kills you instantly with one of his specials. Like, it's a corner carry that it doesn't even matter if it's a corner carry or not, because as soon as it's over, you're dead. 2 final bosses, yeah. KOF 95 has Saisho Kusanagi, I think, which is the protagonist's father, as the first final boss, and Omega Rugal as the second final boss. They are both incredibly cheap. They are the cheapest assholes that you can even think of. But if you want to beat the game, you have to beat them, both of them in a row. Just like that. Does it really affect damage input? Yes, it affects damage input and health. So basically, I don't remember, but I think I almost perfected Ignis by picking Goro Daimon, I think. Because when you pick only one character, Goro actually does incredibly damage to Ignis when you land a command grab. I don't think I perfected him, but I was pretty close of doing that. Like, I basically, what I did against Ignis was roll into command grab with Goro, and motherfucker was dead. Just like that. So it's only tough if you pick 3 characters or anything more than 1. If you pick 1 character, it's still hard. I'm not gonna pretend like picking 1 character is gonna make the fight free. But it's considerably way easier. So yeah, you can pick someone like Goro and do the super right next to him, and basically half of his health bar is gonna be gone. Yeah, if you try to beat Ignis without, like, by picking 3 characters, you're fucking done. Unless you're really good at the game. Trying to kill Ignis with only 3, like, with 3 characters or 2 characters, or even, like, it doesn't matter how many characters. If it's not 1, it's gonna be incredibly tough to defeat Ignis. It's just, I mean, also keep in mind as this, like, every time Ignis or, you know, any fighter defeats you in King of Fighters, they get healed, right? So basically, by picking only 1 character, you make it impossible for him to heal. Like, basically, it's either you win or he wins. Like, there's no healing in between. And also restarting is a lot more, it's a lot easier, because when he kills you, the fight is over. It's not like with other KOF games that you have to wait until your whole team is dead. If you only pick 1 character, once you're dead, that's it. You continue then, and that makes it way easier to try again and again, and eventually you just win. I'll have to try sometime. Yeah, I definitely recommend that. Pick 4 characters and perfect the fight. Yeah, that will be crazy. Perfecting Ignis, picking 4 characters, damn, that's fucked up. This makes me think you have to play Magical Drop. What's Magical Drop? Is that a game? I haven't heard of that. If Magical Drop is a Puyo Puyo game, I don't know. Oh, it's a Neo Geo game? And what is it based on? Like, what genre is it? Is it like a fighting game? Is it a puzzle game like this one? Or, well, I don't even know if I should call this a puzzle game, but has an interesting name. You know, I remember now that you mentioned the Neo Geo, right? Obviously, I play the KOF games using a Neo Geo emulator. That's needless to say. But, you know, I had at one point an emulator pack that had every single game in the Neo Geo, which is nothing that hard to achieve. After all, the Neo Geo didn't really have those many games. It had like 200 games and that's it. Well, it's still a nice amount, but you gotta keep into account that that's the entire library of games that it had. But you know, it's funny because I remember searching through the games, and if I'm not mistaken, one of the games that was there was a porn machon game, just like that. Like, just like that, a pornography machon game. If you win, the opponents, which were obviously girls, because why not, they will lose their clothing. And I was like, wow. Didn't thought the Neo Geo had such hidden gems. Yeah, it apparently had. You know, it's obviously one of those games that you never heard about for obvious reasons. Kinda like Puzzle Bull. Oh, I see. Oh, if it's like that, then I'm really interested. Puzzle Bubble was one of my childhood games. I played that game a lot in the PS1. I played Puzzle Bubble 4. So if it's a game like that, I'm definitely interested. Neo Dishio. I know, right? Now I'm curious. Sadly, I don't remember the name. But honestly, porn machine games are not rare at all. In fact, I will be willing to bet that most of the machine games in existence, like I'm talking about computer games, right? And when I say computer games, I mean video games. Most of machine video games, I'm pretty sure they are just a strip machine. Why? I don't know. Don't ask me. Well, I actually know why. Or at least I have an idea why. Mahjong, since it's mostly a betting game, was always seen as an adult game, right? So obviously not something that children should be involved with, even though it's a game like any other, but it's mostly involved with betting, so a lot of kids were discouraged from playing it, as far as I know. So obviously, since children are out of the equation, that means that you can put all sorts of fucked up shit and it will be fine because it wouldn't be for kids. So I'm pretty sure that that might be the reason why porn machine games are so common. I mean, they are common among machine games. Obviously, machine games by themselves are not even common at all, but among machine games there seem to be a lot of strip machine games for some reason. I don't mind, obviously. I mean, after all, if you're familiar with this channel, I'm a fucking degenerate, right? Like, there is no questioning about it. So obviously, those are the kind of games that I will enjoy playing. Obviously, they are the kind of game that Twitch will not enjoy see me stream, but I will play them by myself for sure. Looking up gay games. To be honest, I don't blame developers. They had to find some way to make Mahjong interesting. I mean, Mahjong is interesting. The problem is that you need a lot of really cool effects to make it. Because obviously, it's just like any board game. If you want to make a board game interesting, you have to add some flashy stuff. Now, I guess they took the concept of flashing the wrong way, but you know, it still counts, I guess. So yeah, you might be right. Gore Mahjong. Well, maybe that it is. Well, there is an anime about that. I don't remember which anime it is, and I'm sorry if I spoil it for anyone. But I remember there was an anime where obviously it was a Mahjong anime. And one of the last games, basically every time the protagonist started losing points or something like that, he had blood drained from his arm. So basically the points were literally liters of blood. So yeah, there is gore Mahjong, just I don't know if there are video games about gore Mahjong. No, I don't think that really counts as gore, that's more like fucked up stuff. I don't think it qualifies as gore, it's just, well, you can call it seinen, I guess. Damn. Even this combo is not gonna save my ass. Loot sells after all? Yeah, it does indeed. Mahjong anime, what a time to be alive. Yeah, I know, right? I don't remember the name, I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names of things that I didn't play or see, so I don't even remember the name of the anime. Maybe someone that is more of an anime enthusiast than me can probably give us an idea about which anime I'm talking about. But yeah, I remember that, and I was like, damn, it's pretty fucked up. I think it's also kind of an old anime. Well, not old as in from the 90s, but I think it's from the 2000s. So it has its years. I might be wrong though, but I'm not sure. Oh yeah. I mean, when it comes to board games or just about any game that has betting involved, you can make a lot of really crazy a lot of really crazy stories, because you know, when there are things on the line, you know, you can put a lot of really disturbing stuff and it will work great as a storytelling, right? And you know, the most disturbing stuff is that maybe a lot of things are based on real life. Obviously they might be exaggerated, yes, but they have some basis in real life, you know. Weirdest timeline? Maybe. Too bad you don't like morbid stuff. Zero Escape is really good visual novel. Yeah, but I don't I mean, despite if I might or might not like morbid stuff, I don't know if Twitch is okay with morbid stuff. It obviously depends on what it is, right? So I guess if it's not something overly gore, it might be fine. I mean, after all, Mortal Kombat is allowed on Twitch, so if that's allowed on Twitch, I'm pretty sure whatever morbid stuff is gonna be allowed. Yeah, that's also another one of the funny things, right? Mortal Kombat, that's fine. Mirror, that basically just has pornography and that's it. No, that's not allowed. Tits are bad. But yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you use a service that is based on the USA, such as Twitch. It is what it is. Zero Escape is popular on Twitch, I see. Same creators as Danganronpa. Yeah, I don't really like... I mean, I haven't played Danganronpa, but from what I've seen, it's definitely not something I like. Because here's the thing, right? If there's a genre that I don't like, when it comes to video games, movies, or whatever, like, let's say a genre in media that I don't like is sadist stuff, right? So obviously Danganronpa is focused on suffering and sadism, right? It's focusing on showcasing how much the characters in the series are suffering, and basically they show it in a way that makes death have almost no meaning, right? So I don't like that. I feel like those things, I mean, I know that there are people that enjoy that, obviously, otherwise it wouldn't be famous, but I don't enjoy watching characters suffer just for the sake of suffering. Obviously, I mean, suffering by itself is fine when it's about reaching a higher goal, right? Like, for example, I mean, I always put the same example because I'm a Dragon Ball fanboy, right? But obviously, in Dragon Ball, the heroes of the story go through a lot of suffering, but they all do it in the name of justice, right? They do it because they want to save the day, they want to be able to defeat evil and all of that. The problem with things like Danganronpa is that it doesn't have an objective. It's basically suffering for the sake of suffering and nothing else. There is no justice there. Like the protagonists just were unlucky to get into that situation and they will die for no reason other than because fuck them, right? So yeah, that's what I don't like about things like Danganronpa. I just don't enjoy that kind of media. But it's fine, I mean, I guess we can all be the same after all. You can maybe enjoy Zero Escape since it's supposed to be a dead game but not for an audience. Yeah, I don't know. It really depends on how death is portrayed. Because in most of the pieces of media that I'm referencing, death is played like a joke, right? Like it doesn't matter. If a character died, then oops, too bad, get fucked. And I don't think it has. I mean, death is death, obviously, right? So I feel like if a character in a piece of media dies, it can't just be something like, huh, get fucked, dumbass. Like it has to be something that has some impact, right? And when I say impact, I don't mean the fact that it has to traumatize you, because I'm pretty sure that if I play any of these games, they will have impact. But what I mean with impact is like, how should I say it? It's like they can't just die for the sake of dying. They have to die, and their death has to be useful for the plot. Like they can't just die in vain. I feel like dying in vain is a something in storytelling that I don't like. There are some people that do that, right? Like they utilize death as just an entertainment measure instead of something that is actually important to the plot. Like they just make it to like like a gag, right? Like something to entertain the player, viewer, or whatever it is, right? Me personally, I don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy those kind of deaths. If a character dies, I feel like 100% it has to be important in the sense that it has to, you know, it can be in vain. And if it is in vain, in the sense that story-wise it was in vain, then someone else has to get something out of that. It can't just end like that. I think you're gonna like it. Well, there is a point that I didn't mention that is probably gonna be important. I don't like visual novels, regardless of what they are. So that might be a pretty big problem, right? Because I like games that are about, you know, having reflexes and, you know, being fast to react to stuff. Games like this one, for example, even though I'm terrible at this game, it obviously requires you to pay attention and be sharp at all times. I don't really like visual novels because of that. And it's not just visual novels. I don't like, for example, games like I don't know, The Sims, right? Obviously The Sims is not a visual novel, but it's a game that does not require you to be fast or to have any reaction-based skill. It's just all about, you know, kind of like, I don't even know if you can call it a puzzle game. I don't even know what The Sims is even, what genre it even is. But yeah, I don't like that. You never mentioned that. Yeah, as you can see, well, in the description below you can kind of see what my favorite genres are, and they are pretty much fighting games, Danmaku games, platforming games, and what is the other genre that I listed? Racing games, yeah. So I like those games mostly because they are about testing your, as I say, your reflexes, right? It's about testing how fast you can react to what's happening, how fast you are in the fingers. It constantly challenges your ability to react to stuff. Yeah, racing, I know. So yeah, those are the genres of game I like for that reason. Obviously visual novels are not in that category. Obviously they have a different appeal, and maybe when I grow older, when my fingers stop responding to me and when I stop being decent at games like Touhou, maybe I will go to visual novels there, because obviously I'm not gonna have these reflexes that I have now. That they aren't even that good, but I mean, they at least allow me to play this kind of games. At some point, obviously, those reflexes are gonna die down, And when that happens, I guess I could be interested into visual novels, because I probably wouldn't be able to play anything else. So yeah, but obviously for that, there is a lot of time in front of us before that happens. I mean, if I completely lose my ability to react to what's happening on screen, I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen in like 10 or 20 years from now. Unless something bad happens, which I hope it doesn't, but it could. The Sims is a sim, yeah, I get that, that's like years ahead, I know. But obviously it will happen. And when it happens, then yes, I probably will be interested in visual novels. But yeah, as you say, there is a lot of time before any of that happens, so yeah. In any case, well, no. Now that I think about it, that doesn't need to necessarily happen. You know, as some of you might know, I live in South America, right? South America is known for, I mean, a lot of things, but one of the things that is known for a lot is because the internet is trash, right? Now, my internet has been working fine lately, but if my internet works badly, that means that I will have to stream at a lower bitrate, right? So when I have to stream at a lower bitrate, playing games like Touhou is almost impossible because it looks like a pixelated mess. So when that happens, maybe something like a visual novel might not be a bad idea. After all, the game that I play when my internet is working bad is called Eternal Destiny, and that's a card game. Well, it's not a visual novel, but it has elements of visual novels, which is basically long dialogues, making decisions. It's a card game, but it also has what I'm mentioning. You've been doing a stage well in practice mode, but mess up in a run. That always happens, especially with a game like Touhou, which is the reason why a lot of times I refuse to practice. Because a game like Touhou, you can have a lot of strategies in Touhou. You can have a lot of stuff. But I think it's one of those things. I'm gonna reference a phrase that Mike Tyson said that is pretty popular and a lot of people like to use, and I also like to use, which is everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Like, you know, everyone can have any plan. Anyone can have planned something for, you know, hours and hours. But once you get punched in the face, that plan ain't so bright. Now, obviously in Touhou you don't get punched in the face. Not literally. When you die on a stage that you think you're not gonna die, you're mostly getting punched in the face metaphorically. So yeah, you can have every plan in the world when you play Touhou, but it's all a matter of just getting hit by some random ass bullet that you didn't think it was gonna hit you, but oops, it actually hit you and now you're dead. So yeah, it really is like one of those things. I will keep pushing the idea until it happens. Yeah, maybe, but you know, you will probably have a better chance of making me play a visual novel that is semi-pornographic, or at least, you know, pornographic to the point where it's allowed on Twitch, obviously, than playing a visual novel that is, you know, about deaths and dark stuff. So yeah. I prefer those kind of visual novels. In fact, there is a game that is really degenerate that I never played, but it's really popular, that is called Nekopara, right? Which is about cat girls in a restaurant. I mean, it can't get any more decent than that. I think that's enough of a description. But basically, it's a game that it's allowed on Twitch, and it's also a visual novel. So before playing any of the visual novels that are about, you know, a dark story and suffering and all of that, I will probably rather play Nekopara. You don't get punched in Toho if you're in Saint's height. There is one girl per game that shows a lot of boob. Damn. Well, I'm one of those people that is not really a big fan of boobs, in all honesty. I'm more of an ass guy. But obviously, showing ass is a lot more it's a lot more dangerous to show on Twitch than just showing cleavage of a pair of breasts, right? So yeah, I don't know if Twitch will be happy about that. What Yannick says. Well, yeah, technically it's not Ichirin, it's Unsan. Unsan, which is Daddy Cloud. Yeah, that stage 3 boss. I mean, UFO is a really fucked up game no matter what, right? But yeah, the stage 3 boss in that game it fucking sucks. I mean, most of the runs in that game end on stage 2, but if you somehow get past stage 2, stage 3 is probably gonna make sure you don't keep going. Daddy, I know, right? I mean, after all, Unsan is one gigantic looking motherfucker, right? He's a pretty cool character too. It's just that for some reason Soon did not give him any dialogue. I don't know why you will make such a cool character then all of a sudden it has no fucking dialogue. But yeah, Soon decided that that will be a good idea, so it is what it is. I mean, after all, Soon has made a lot of questionable decisions like that. Although, when it comes to UFO, which is Toho 12, giving Unsan no dialogue is probably the softest bad decision he's made. Because holy shit, that game is a disaster. UFO is a damn disaster. In almost every way. Almost every way. Not every single way, but it's a pretty big disaster in most of the ways that actually matter, which are gameplay wise. That's fine. I'm a masochist after all, so I play it even though I know it's not a good game. Or rather, not like it's not a good game, it's just a game that... it's a bad Toho game, that's the thing. Which might still not be bad, all standards considered, but it's still something that it's better to avoid instead of torturing yourself playing it, right? So yeah, that's usually how it goes. That's fine. I mean, as I always say, UFO is the last Toho game that I have not one coin clear on Lunatic. Obviously ignoring Toho 2 and 1, but yeah, we don't talk about those. Though, if I gotta be completely honest, one of these days I kinda wanna play Toho 2, just to see how doable the one coin clear is. Because it's really been a while since I played that game, so maybe now it might be doable. It obviously will take a lot of time getting used to it, I don't deny that. But I don't know how much time it's gonna take. Hopefully not too much. I will like if it will be rather an easy time getting used to it. Because that game has no dead bomb, right? You know, Toho 2. And you might think that having no dead bomb is not that big of a deal, but trust me, it is a huge deal. because it basically means that you cannot react to the attacks. You basically have to preemptively bomb, because if you don't do that, you're dead. You're as good as dead. So yeah. And this horse is dead. I don't think this is a horse. I think this is supposed to be some kind of weird bull. Well, it doesn't matter now because he's fucking dead. Alright, so on to the next enemy. We have a chicken. A smug chicken. You've been scratching around here for too long, worm bait. Time to cross the road and head home, Paul. I'm winning this one by fair means or foul. You're improving things. I don't really think I'm improving though. I just think, as I said in the beginning of the stream, when you try this a lot, eventually you get that one good run that you need. But, you know, that's pretty much what's happening here. Eventually I'm getting lucky and I'm doing a really good chain, and the boss just gets fucked. That's how it is. Which is fine by me, I don't mind doing that. It looks like a rooster? Rooster? I don't know how that's pronounced. I think it's rooster, right? But yeah, it might be. Well, what we do know is that this is the last character before the almighty Robotnik. I do remember this guy being the last one before Robotnik. And Robotnik, I remember him being a pain in the ass. And not the good pains in the ass. We're about to find out. I mean, we cannot get to Robotnik without defeating this rooster here. So, damn, look at that smug motherfucker. Holy shit. He's like, huh, you know what's happening when I win, don't you? Prepare that ass, boy. Yeah, you know that's what he's thinking. He's like, huh, you better prepare the lube. See, if you have no lube, it's gonna be rough. Damn. Can you imagine being a kid playing this game and you see this fucking chicken giving you that face? And it will be like, huh, I know what you hid from your parents yesterday. If you lose, I'll tell them. Damn. Yeah, the ultimate smug. It's been a while since I seen a smug face so pronounced as this one. Like, holy shit. That's one hell of a smug aura. Nah, I fucked that one up. Well, that's fine. I remember Robotnik having a really fucked up face when he was winning. He had like the creepiest smile ever. It wasn't smug, but rather it was like he was like the most psychotic smile that you could ever think. So if I ever get to Robotnik, you will see. Damn. This one seems to be preparing a lot for chains in a way that is exposing him a lot. So maybe if I can attack quick when he has like his own board in like the middle, he can probably lose. I got the exit hard one coin clear, but the true last boss fucked off. Yeah. Don't you know the requirements for the true last boss? The requirements for the true last boss in that game is to beat the mid bosses of stage 2 and 3 and also the true last boss itself when it reaches stage 3. Those are the requirements. If you time them out, it doesn't count. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, you have to no miss, no bomb them. You have to no miss, no bomb the mid bosses of those stages. If you don't do that, the true last boss is not gonna appear. I remember those being more or less the requirements for the true last boss in that game. This chicken is ready for a Toho game. This chicken is ready for a Toho game, but not the Toho game that you are used to. I seen them, I got to the true last boss, mid boss, but I don't know what I messed up. If she ran away, it's because you timed her out. And it's pretty hard not to time her out in that mid boss phase. In normal, it's not hard to beat her in that mid boss phase, but if you play hard, she has a lot of health, so you have to be actively fishing for damage, because if you are like a couple of points of damage off, she's gonna run away. So you gotta keep that in mind. I remember because I remember trying to play that game on hard, and motherfuckers just refused to die. And she ran away. Just like that. We didn't time out but bomb. Yeah, maybe you have to no miss, no bomb that mid boss too. Yeah, actually that might be the case. Because at first I thought that you only need to no bomb, no miss the previous 2 mid bosses, but it seems that you also have to do that with her. So yeah, that might indeed be the case. Damn chicken. That's fine. At least the good thing here is that this chicken, as I said, as you can see there, is the last enemy before Robotnik himself. You know, it's pretty interesting. I was talking about this on the previous stream where I streamed this game, and it's pretty interesting that not a single one of these characters have appeared again in any Sonic game. I mean, I understand they are supposed to be just computers you fight against and not really important characters, but some of them have cool designs. So it's really weird that the only character here that obviously is in other Sonic games is obviously Dr. Eggman, aka Robotnik. So yeah. Damn. This guy, huh? My easy run score is higher than the hard one can clear. Yeah, after all, the true last boss gives you a lot of score. That's usually the case in most Danmaku games. When you reach the true last boss, usually what happens afterwards is that you get a massive amount of points, kind of like as a reward that you got so far and you done so much shit. The game is like, alright, here's your reward. That's also the case in Dodonpachi and all of those games as well. Also, it seems like this character really likes doing short chains. But these short chains are enough for, you know, actually killing me. Damn. And right there I'm done. I can't do much right here. Like, that's basically it. That's fine. Also, speaking of Exceed, I really want to one coin clear Exceed second. But I'm gonna have such a hard time doing that. But one of these days I want to one coin clear that game. Have you seen Sonic Underground? Sonic Underground? I don't know what that is. Is that a fan game or something? I really don't know. I mean, it sounds like a fun game, because I don't remember any game by Sega with that name. Though so, otherwise you will know this robot. Oh wait, so it's not a fun game? Wait, there is a game called Toho. Ah, god damn it. See, this is what happens when you're a fucking Toho player. Everything is about Toho. Everything. I was trying to say Toho Underground, I know, right? Well, Toho Underground, you don't even need to search that much. You can just go to Sankaku and you will see a lot of Toho Underground artwork. If you catch my drift. It's a cartoon? Oh, I see. So I guess all of these characters are from the cartoon, or is it the opposite? Like, do these characters debuted on the game or on the cartoon? I never seen any Sonic cartoon either. I know it exists, but never really seen it. I have to check. I'm assuming that this game came first and then the cartoon. Because honestly, when it comes to Sonic and when it comes to video games in general, usually what comes from the video games comes first, right? Usually. There are obviously exceptions, just like with anything else, but... Ah, what the hell? Yeah, this guy ain't taking it easy, huh? Damn. Now this one looks a lot more dangerous than the previous enemies, just for the fact that he's actively trying to chain. A lot of the previous enemies that I had, they didn't really care that much about chains. They were like, you know... They only made chains when they were in... Like when they were about to get defeated. But this one, those chains no matter what, he doesn't give a shit. Damn it. Damn, and you block the yellow ones too. What a shameless motherfucker. That was an unintentional combo. Damn. See, as you can see, the reason why he appears with that almost defeated portrait a lot is because for the most part he tries to, as you can see there, he actively tries to go for simple chains. And the problem with actively going for simple chains is that it gets really hard to to even, you know, build some chains myself, right? It's a little bit hard to do that. So this one seems like it's gonna be a tough one. But we will see. Well, I mean, we all saw this one being a tough one from a mile ago. From a mile away, I mean. So, you know, this ain't anything new. Though, I gotta say that I think I am actually getting better at the game. Yes, I'm getting destroyed. I'm not gonna deny that. But it seems like I'm getting Puyo Puyo a little bit more. It's like I'm getting more muscle memory or more like general strategies, even though obviously there is a lot to improve. But I feel like it is being useful to play this arcade mode to get a little bit better at Puyo, right? Team. That's fine. I mean, maybe at the end of this arcade mode we will be able to beat other Puyo games, because believe it or not, there are a lot of Puyo Puyo games released over the years. And according to a lot of people, they are meant to be pretty hard, right? So that's something that I'm pretty interested of checking out. I wonder how it is. See, have a tree chain. There we go. That's pretty nice. Though now that I think about it, it's a pretty useful strategy of doing what he's doing. He's basically piling Puyos at the right or left side of the screen, and that means that the garbage Puyos that fall are not gonna block him, right? For the most part. So he's free to continue with the change that he was planning on doing, which is probably something that I should start doing myself. I know how well it's gonna work. Reaction time is improving. I don't think it's the reaction time the one improving. I think it's mostly the fact that I'm figuring out what I'm supposed to do with the Puyos. I think my reaction time might be the same. It's just that now I might have a better strategy at play, right? Classic, it's hard so it's good. Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, apparently the Puyo Puyo games are so many that it might be worth to check them all out. Might be worth giving it a shot. The problem is, I'm gonna attract part of the Puyo Puyo community that likes to use the word groundhog. I don't know if I will be comfortable with that. Imagine someone all of a sudden comes here, calls me a roundhog. It's like, damn, you're playing too slow. What a groundhog. Can you believe that? You know, I'm joking now, but like literally someone, when I was playing Puyo Puyo Tetris, one of the people that was watching, when I ended the stream, called one of my viewers a groundhog. I didn't even know that was an insult. Well, I mean, when I actually knew the meaning and the translation that it has to Spanish, then yeah, it can be used as an insult, but it's one of those things that is like, damn, are you gonna use this word as an insult? It's pretty interesting. That's gonna help. A little bit, not that much. Damn, he's fighting so well that it's like all of my attacks were completely ineffective. Oh, that was a mistake. Yeah, I mean, you can say that that was close, but he still was in control the whole time. So maybe what I should start doing is piling Puyos at the sides of the screen, but I'm not that good at doing that, honestly. I don't think I'm good at doing that. Oh, I should have put that one in the left. Give me another red one, there we go. Now, I prefer continuing with my general strat of playing in a pretty chill manner. I feel like that's gonna be better to do. Of course the fucking stone falls right there. Right where I was supposed to put the Puyo for the combo. Wow, that was brutal. That was brutal for both of us, but mostly for me. Because now he has all sorts of crazy shit that he can do. Because he's a fucking AI. Yeah. Damn. That combo that he did was brutal. If I done that combo that I did a lot sooner, he probably will be dead. Well, that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. After all, this was not meant to be easy. Okay, I need a yellow one. It's also something that I really don't like, the fact that when you're waiting for that specific color, it refuses to come, so you fill the board with Puyos that you didn't mean to put there, but you needed to put there somewhere else. Oh, maybe that's a strategy that I can do. I can pile up the Puyos that I don't use in the sides. Maybe that's what this motherfucker is doing. Maybe that strategy will work. Huh. We will see. Yeah, maybe that will work. Let's just see if that will indeed work or not. But you know, it's better than nothing, you know. That was a bad idea. Alright. Yeah. You know, even after streaming for, you know, such a long time. Well, I mean, it's not like I've been streaming for years or anything like that. You know, I've been streaming for quite some time and I still can't get used to my throat, right? Like, my throat still gets tired pretty quickly when I stream. I feel like I should have a little bit more stamina. Because I just talked for 2 hours. but my throat is a little bit tired still. I don't know why. You will feel like at this point 2 hours wouldn't be that big of a deal. But it seems like it still is. Well, there's always room for improvement after all. That didn't do shit. That was a pretty bad mistake. Well, you do have to know Miss No Bomb, the true last boss. I wonder if it shows up in practice mode. I honestly have no idea if that's the case in that game. I mean, it's been a while since I played that game. And basically, if I'm not mistaken, the one who actually told me the requirements for that boss was Riemann. Like, I didn't even look it up. Riemann did it for me. You know, the worst part about this, the AIs in this game, is that when they get a chain, they yell that yeehaw thing in a pretty distorted voice. I know that it's because they are supposed to be robots and all of that, but it's like, damn. Like, quite a voice, right? Ouch. It's okay, this chicken is gonna end up dying. I know, I am sure of it. He can't keep getting away with this. That, okay. Well, that's gonna be beautiful if I can get, yeah, this. And that was a beautiful chain. Sadly, he barely had any piece in there, so that's not gonna hurt him at all. But, you know, it was a good start. Well, I have another chain here. I tried to spin it, but it was too late. As you can see, he's back on track just like that. Just like that, he's back on track. As you can see, that initial attack didn't do shit. That initial attack seemed to be completely useless. That's fine. All the combo. Yeah, but I expected that. Because, you know, the initial combo, the one that I got at the beginning, I basically attacked him when he had nothing going on the board. So, for an AI like him, it's the same shit. Because it's just like having a higher platform, but it's the same. He can still do the same nasty chains that he does. Like, the real deal is when, as I mentioned before, when the AI has like like the middle of the board is covered in blocks, and then you attack. If that happens, chances are that they are probably gonna die. But that was not the case there, so sadly we couldn't really do much about that. So yeah, it is what it is. That's gonna be at least a combo. Maybe not the best one, but it is something. You know, I was thinking about, since Riemann asked me which game I was planning for the primary stream, even if my plan for today, at least for today, they are maybe a little bit of Azure Reflections, and then later on, or not later on, but maybe some other day, play Barrage Musical a little bit. The thing is that, you know, I kinda wanna try some other Toho fan games that I bought some time ago. That are not Danmaku games, by the way. I feel like they are gonna be pretty fun to play. Or at least I hope. I don't know, I never played them before, so I wouldn't know. And no, before Kael gets here, no, I'm not talking about Gensokyo no Naso. No, 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 no. Fuck that game. God damn it. Well, I can still get a purple Puyo to the left. Like that. Oh, that's a combo. Yeah, but he... I have combos, but he has combos as well. It's the back-to-back. Now, the thing is, I'm not sure, but wasn't Puyo Puyo Tetris a game where if you played Puyo, I'm talking about obviously, like, if you had an incoming attack and you did a combo, it completely canceled out? Wasn't that like how it worked in Puyo Puyo Tetris? I know that this is not Puyo Puyo Tetris, right? It's a different thing, but I'm pretty sure it worked like that. Like if you had an incoming attack and you made a chain, immediately that chain will be cancelled as long as, you know, your chain was an equivalent, right? Obviously, it wouldn't get cancelled if it was a sorry ass chain that had nothing to do with the one you were receiving. I think that's how it worked. Sadly, my memory might not be good enough to remember that, so I wouldn't know. Damn, I'm asking for... There we go. Come on. Nice. Ooh, that was... Didn't even get the chain I wanted, god damn it. That's gonna be only one chain. That's fine. Wow, are you kidding me? Well, you still have more? Look at that. Look at this motherfucker's board. Look at this. Wow. Alright. It's really like one of those things that it doesn't matter how hard you try. In the end, it doesn't even matter. And that won't look exactly like that. All those combos, all of that, they are lost. They are lost in eternity. God damn it. Nice. What? Damn, even the chicken, look at the chicken face. Even the chicken doesn't know what happened. It's like, what the hell? 28 seconds? Damn. I need to watch the replay. I don't know what happened. It happened so fast. Wow, that was unbelievable. Like the chicken is looking at my board and it's like, holy shit. This guy got so damn lucky. Damn. Alright, well I guess we're gonna finally meet Mr. Robotnik himself. Someone ain't happy about this. I remember this cutscene. He calls them Doonsbots, yeah. I remember this cutscene. Damn. Fucking Doonsbots. We have stage 13. Damn, and Eggman doesn't give a shit. Also, you don't want to see Eggman's face here when he gets all creepy and shit. Because he can get pretty creepy with that smile. Alright? He can definitely get incredibly creepy with the smile that he's about to show at any time. Any moment now. He has combos too. Like, I mean, pretty fast combos. And there's the fucking creepy ass smile. God damn it. Eggman looking like a fucking molester here. Well, I mean, when isn't he looking like that? Though this one is specifically creepy. The thing is that the music also changes. That's also great. I'm cornered here. Damn it. Oh, I remember that. He had a laugh at the end. I thought that was something universal, but no. Now that I see, like, none of the other robots laugh. It's just this asshole laughing. Damn. Alright. Also, pretty fitting that this is a stage 13. A stage 13. You know how in a lot of... well, I don't know if I should say religions, but in like a lot of cultures, the 13 number is a sign of bad luck, right? Well, I don't know if it's in a lot of them. I know that some of them have the 13 number as a bad luck number. I don't know why. I don't know what triggered that bad luck thingy. Guys, what's wrong with... I mean, it's a prime number, but so is 11. And you don't see 11 being a bad luck number. So what is the salt for the number 13? What did number 13 did to anyone, right? I don't know. Apparently people don't like that number. If anyone knows, let me know, because it's gonna be really useful to learn that. Though it's probably a dumb as shit reason. Probably one of those things that you read and you're like, really? Yeah. Also, you know, that win that I got against the chicken robot, it reminded me of when I defeated the final boss of Seiho 2 in literally seconds after struggling for like 13 minutes or something like that. No, I think it was like a 7 minutes run. And you know, it was a 7-minute run, and all of a sudden when I do a rematch, they fucking just die that easily. Just like that, for no reason. They just die. They didn't feel like living. So yeah. That's a good combo. Also, I'm noticing that this Eggman, it looks like he's preparing for some nasty ass chains. But it seems like in the end he doesn't uses them. So I don't know if this is gonna be easier than the chicken or not. Because the chicken looked like he was actively going after chains. Well, like this, but feels like the chicken was a lot more active than Mr. Eggman. That was a bad idea. That was an even worse idea, damn. That was one spin too many. That was one less spin, I would have done something, but nope. Also, it's pretty fucked up. Like, look at Dr. Eggman's head. You know how he usually is depicted as, you know, having a round head to help, you know, relate to the whole, you know, round theme that he has going on, because, you know, he's Eggman, right? But right here, his head looks like a fucking cone for no reason. I mean, it's also a little bit nasty when you think about it, because, like, holy shit, your brain must be fucked if that's your head shape. I can't even imagine how it will look like in the inside, right? Imagine a head like that. Seems like a pretty fucked up thing. Feels like a Lovecraftian horror, right? One of those things that you will only see in those kind of novels. Man, he's not joking around, huh? Damn, that laugh gets me every time. It's one of those laughs that is supposed to be evil, but at the same time, it's so low pitched that it ends up being comical. It's a pretty interesting laugh. That's not gonna help. Man, if only you stop blocking me on the place that I wanted to place my Puyo. Like that. Of course you're gonna block it, because why not? God damn it. That's not really gonna do much, though. It's an interesting clear. That was bad. Well, that's at least gonna be a combo. Sadly, only a one chain. you know, I'm really curious, even though I'm obviously not gonna do it for obvious reasons. But I'm really curious how this game will be in the very hard difficulty. Because yes, believe it or not, this game has a very hard difficulty and it's not the one I'm playing. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how that will be. It's probably gonna be so fucked up. But obviously I don't wanna try because I know I wouldn't stand any chance, but... That's the reason why I said at the beginning of the stream that I was really curious to see what the Puyo Puyo community thought about this game. Like how hard it is to beat the AI or how easy it is, right? Maybe they will just be like, nah, this is easy. This is just something else, like, you know. Like any other Puyo game, but easier or something like that. I don't know what they will say about the game, but maybe they will say something along those lines. I don't know. That's not gonna do much. Oh, if you could give me a yellow one. If you could just give me... There we go, we got a yellow one. That's great. Probably not the greatest move, but it's gonna help. Maybe not. Actually, Eggman is recovering pretty fast. Seems to not have a care in the world. You know, the important thing is that we're finally facing Eggman. That's what's truly important here. Sadly, he obviously, as I expected, he seems pretty tough. But we will see how tough. We will see just how tough he can get. I have returned. Hey, Mish. Sorry, Draynod. I'm still getting used to trying to call you Draynod. But yeah, as you can see, you came right in time. You came right in time to see none other than Mr. Robotnik losing his shit. Though that's not completely true, because the only one losing my shit here is, well, me. That's fine, don't worry about it. It is bound to happen after all. With someone like Eggman here. Fucking MMOs ruin people. What? Are you playing an MMO now? Which MMO are you playing? Alright. Damn, you blocked me right on time. Hey man, he has a clean board. Alright. Pretty cool. Oh, that's right, you're playing Final Phantom. That's how it's called from now on. Final Phantom. Hope you like your new game. Yeah, I remember you playing Final Fantasy 14. I guess that game is addictive after all, huh? Well, I mean, it's just like any MMO. That's the point of MMOs after all. Had to play the raid leader for some shit. Nice. Yeah, that's right, I also forget about that. MMOs also have some kind of raid functionality where You can only do it a specific time of the day, and you obviously need people to do so, so you gotta be ready when it comes. Yeah, I remember that. MMOs are so poisonous. They are so poisonous for the mind. You know, with Ragnarok Online you also had something like that. You had a special dungeon called the Endless Tower. You basically only had 4 hours to complete, and I say only because it was pretty long, right? And basically you could only do it once a week. So not only you will have to get enough people to do it, but if that wasn't enough, you also could only do it once a week. So whatever attempt you did, it better will be a good attempt, because otherwise you just wasted a weekly attempt just like that. Yeah, competent people, of course. And well, not just competent people, you needed people to be sharp, because you can have competent people but that they are not at their top condition, right? It can happen, everyone has bad days, so it's so fucked up. Yeah, MMOs are, you know, one of those kind of games. One of those kind of games that take everything from you. But that's fine. I mean, that's why they are so attractive, I guess, because of the amount of time you need to invest to do a lot of the stuff there, right? Damn, I'm getting blasted. This damn Robotnik is really kicking my ass, huh? Well, again, this is an expected result. None of this is a surprise. But I still wonder how long we're gonna get to beat this boss. But it seems like it's gonna be quite long indeed. Oh, this is gonna be a beautiful combo. Nice. Let's see how useful they are though, because the same way we have combos, he has combos too. He doesn't give a shit. So by the way, how did the raid went? Like that Final Fantasy raid. Did it went good? Were you be able to get where you were looking for? There we go. Whew. But still, we still have a lot to go here. Damn, and he's like nothing happened. It's like nothing fucking happened. It's just chilling, almost with an empty board, just like that. We clear and I made some new friends. Nice. Good stuff. Well, see, it was worth it after all. Good shit. Yeah, MMOs are one of those games that, since most of the hard stuff you can do it by yourself, you definitely need people to play with, so you're always meeting new people, right? That's another interesting part of MMOs. Damn. I gotta say that this game drained a lot of my energy. I remember at the beginning of the stream I was like talking non-stop, and then now I can't think of any word to say. Holy shit. I guess, well, it's no wonder that a game like this will be mentally draining, but holy shit. Didn't expect it to be that mentally draining. Like, this is some next level stuff. The good thing is that I've done this before, as I mentioned in another stream. I actually defeated Mr. Robotnik at some point in my life. I don't remember when exactly, but I know that I did. So this should be doable. Just that I don't know how long it will take. We will see. Team. Just like that, huh? Cheeky motherfucker. Also, I really like... Sadly I skipped it right there, but the sprite work in that cutscene is really good. I'm gonna show it again, just so you can see how well it's done. Damn, I fucked that one up. Oh, I got that. That's something. Team. You know, the funny thing is that I defeated the chicken so fast that it might be... I might beat this asshole the same way. Because apparently the way I defeated the chicken is that the chicken committed the mistake of piling puyos on the middle. And right as the chicken was piling puyos, I attacked. So basically, right at the middle, it was filled with puyos and they should immediately die afterwards. So it will be great if something like that happened here. Problem is, this guy doesn't seem interested in dying. So it doesn't seem like it's gonna happen anytime soon. But we will see. You never know. Damn. And these attacks are blocking all of my exits too. I meant to... At some point the blocks are falling so fast that I try to move them and it just doesn't work. Here. I look at the sprite work of Eggman right here. I know that this kind of sprite work was not a novelty back then, but like, it's so well done. Like I'm talking like the animation is so well done. Things like those are things that it seems like they are not coming back, because a lot of the... I mean, sprite animation is just more dead than my soul right now. So, yeah. Sadly, those beautiful... I mean, there are still people around that do sprite work and all of that, but it's so hard to find them, especially from big companies, because usually people who do sprite works are either from indie companies that, you know, that do passion projects or things like that, right? You don't really find them in the big corporations, which is a shame. I know that they are more expensive to make and all of that, but come on, bro. They were great. I mean, they are great. It's not like they... Wow. Well, that's bad. That's bad. Damn, what a... That probably was the nastiest combo that I eaten so far. You play Nier Automata? I did play Nier Automata, yes, I beat it too. I really feel like it's one of those games that it's a one and done. I really don't feel like it's a game that is worth to replay. I think that it's a one-time experience. Sadly, because, you know, I wish I could replay it, but it really feels like most of the impact that the game has is on the first playthrough. After that, it's kind of like, whatever. I play on replaying the series. Yeah, it's not a bad idea if it's been a really long time since you played it, but it's not really been a long time since I played it, so... Yeah, Robotnik indeed. You know, the way I defeated the chicken was one of the most random and stupid ways that I seen. Basically, the fight only lasted like 20 seconds when I defeated the chicken. I don't know what happened. I have to watch the replay because I really don't know what happened, but it was something worthy of being remembered. Caught the game on sale on PC the other day. The port sucks from what I gather. No, not at all. I play the game on PC with the FX A350 and the GTX 760, which are, you know, pretty standard nowadays at least. And the game ran pretty fine. I don't remember having any performance drop or any significant performance drop. So I don't know what they are talking about saying that the port is bad. I really don't remember it being bad. But I wouldn't really be sure, because as I say, I never look into it because I never had any issues with it, right? I'll have to mess with it myself. Yeah, but honestly, I don't think you're gonna have any problems with it. Like, you're gonna be able to run it just fine. Especially, I'm pretty sure you have a pretty good computer, right? Draynot. Like, you have literally a GTX 2... Yeah, like an RTX, I mean. It's so good that the name is even different. So yeah, with that, it's obviously you're not gonna have any problem with that. Not any problem at all. Damn, I really wanted to beat Eggman before ending the stream, but this is looking like it's not gonna be the case. I gotta end the stream soon enough, but this asshole ain't dead yet. It seems like he will take a long time to get beaten, so I don't really think I can do much here, other than, you know, praying to the elder gods, to the elder RNG gods. Other than that, doesn't seem like there's much I can do right now. Maybe one good strategy to face this guy might be trying to hold off at the beginning and then attack with a good combo, but that will require planning that I don't have. At least that's gonna be a good combo. So there is that. That's not gonna be useful at all. And as you can see, if you're looking at his side, he's already back in business just like that. Just like that. He is back. Well, I mean, he was never gone in the first place. Never had any issues with any games except DMC4. Yeah, and that's because you haven't played Exceed 1, because Exceed 1 is a fucking disaster of a board. Okay, I'm gonna try the scrub strategy here. It probably won't work, but since the pieces are falling so fast, I can probably try this successfully. I mean, when I say try successfully, I mean that it's not gonna be that much of a problem to set it up. The real problem is getting anything useful out of it. Yes, that's definitely gonna be the thing, but we will see. Because it's been a while since I have entered in scrub mode like this. So maybe it's gonna change something. Probably not. In fact, most likely not. As we can see right here. Yeah, it seems like that was completely and entirely useless. Well, oh, alright. Okay, playing dumb doesn't seem like a good idea. I don't even want to get it seed 1. I have the third game though. Yeah, the third game is definitely the best one, and not only the best one, but also probably one of the best Danmaku games there are. So yeah, pretty well done. I think this might be the last attempt that I give this asshole for the day, and then maybe at some other point in time, I mean maybe next week or I don't know when, I'm gonna play this game again, but maybe then we can try defeating this guy, because right now it seems like it's pretty tough and I don't have enough time to beat him, so yeah, I guess we can leave this for another day. I mean, that's fine, in all honesty. It ain't that big of a deal. I'm still debating if I should get Galadriel's Blaze or not. Yeah, I don't even know what that is, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. Well, I probably know what it is, but I don't even remember it. You gotta understand, there's a lot of things that I ask you about at some point in time, and then I completely forget about the answer because, you know, my memory not being really good and everything. So yeah. Oh, you are a piece of shit. You are a dirty piece of shit for doing what you just did. Wow, that was unbelievable. I can't believe that just happened. What an asshole. What a fucking asshole. Dr. Robotnik, you're a fucking asshole. No wonder Sonic beats you in every game. You're a fucking asshole. I can't really tell if the gameplay is good or not, but it's super degenerate. It's a shoot 'em up where the bosses get their clothes torn off piece by piece each phase. Isn't that the one that has... Wait, isn't that the game that someone linked in the Discord and it was like... It had a ton of negative reviews, or was that another one? I think it was that one. Was it? I mean, I obviously don't give a shit about negative reviews, but I think it was that one. Seems to have a lot of content besides that, huh? I think I mentioned a while ago, but it didn't have a ton of negative comments. Maybe I'm confusing it with another one. That was also a shoot 'em up, apparently. Well, now you pique my interest, so I'm gonna look it up whenever I get the chance and see what it is. Damn, I got a chain, I can't believe it. So the only chain that I'm gonna get at this point is the food chain. And guess what? Robotnik is on top of it. Nice, that's what I wanted. Oh, but his has a nasty ass combo too. But he might die. He died. Get fucked. Damn, that was so close for both of us. Holy shit. Right down to the wire. Look at this motherfucker escaping. Oh, all the beans are happy. Damn. Good shit. And now we get to see all the dumbass names that the robots have. Arms, Frankly, shout out to Frankly. Humpty, because why not? Humpty has to be there. Coconut, not a single one, but multiple ones. Davy Sprocket, well, that's an interesting name. Patrick Star, yeah, squill my ass, you're fucking Patrick. Fucking piece of dynamite. Oh, Dynamite, that's a good name. That's a pretty creepy smile though, but it's a good name. Grounder, he was an asshole. This was an even bigger asshole, Spike. Damn. What a journey. I don't even remember the name of this one. He dies so fast. Sir Flussy Logic? Dragon Breath. The fucking chicken. I don't even know how the chicken is called. Scratch? What a shitty name. And obviously yours one and only Dr. Robotnik, aka Dr. Eggman, and your mom. Oh no, has been? Has been? Is that a character? Apparently it is. Alright. Well, good shit. And now what? Uh-oh. Just gets to the night, and now what? Oh, the credits, alright. They add the actual credits. Alright, good shit. It's very positive on Steam. Interesting, the game you're mentioning. What's the game? Caladrius Blaze, huh? Raiden has a lot of negative reviews for bad PC4. Things with Steam reviews is that people are idiots. Damn. Yeah, ARMS, I know, right? Like the Nintendo game. She thanks. Sadly, you mentioned Squirt, but apparently Squirt is the name of the protagonist, because every fucking asshole in this game called me a Squirt. So maybe the protagonist was not Sonic and was a Squirt in this game. Who is a Squirt? I don't know. Look it up on Google. Come on. Just Google Squirt and see what happens. No, please don't do that. Or at least do it when you are alone. Not when you have people next to you, because that's probably gonna be a bad idea. But yeah. Oh, that's the link. Alright. I'll keep that in mind and see how it goes. So, shoutouts to Matt Taylor, who is the designer and something else. I didn't read what he was. Yeah, seems like this Matt Taylor has been paid for overtime, huh? Let's try hard level? No, fuck you. I'm not gonna try hard level. What? I mean, I understand that I might look like a masochist, and sometimes, you know, playing so much Toho, it might be, but fuck you and your hard level, dude. You know how hard it was to already beat this on normal? You want me to go hard level? Fuck you, but you know, I gotta say something. This game really made me wanna play the actual Puyo Puyo games. Because this game forces you to play smart, or at least it forces you to do something instead of just piling things at the right side of the screen. So now I'm kind of curious about the actual Puyo Puyo games. And this game was released 2 years after Sonic even existed. Interesting. Alright. That was a good experience, I'm not gonna lie. So good shit. 69? Damn. Block 69, huh? Alright. Well, good shit. That was definitely a godlike experience.